Hey everyone, and welcome back, or if you're new here, my name is Josh, and in today's video, we're going to be reviewing the Chase Freedom Unlimited credit card. So I'm going to be going over the main features of this credit card, the pros, the cons. So hopefully by the end of this video, you should have a better idea on whether or not this credit card is a good fit for you. Now, before we get into the main content of today's video, first off, this video should not be considered financial advice. It is for entertainment purposes only. And also, I would greatly appreciate if you could go ahead and give this video a like if you do enjoy the content in today's video when you get to the end, and consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Okay, so first off, starting with the main features of this credit card, if you do decide to apply and you are accepted, if you do spend at least $500 within the first 3 months of having this credit card, you will receive a $200 bonus from Chase. So this is a really great incentive of having this credit card. $500 in the first 3 months is not a whole lot of money to achieve, so it is a very easy spend bonus to get. Now, in addition to that, in the first year of having this credit card, if you spend in the grocery category, so any groceries, now this is going to be excluding both Walmart and Target, but at grocery stores, you will be earning 5% cash back on the first $12,000 that you spend within the first year. So that's going to be around $1,000 per month. So perhaps for a single individual or a small family, this might end up being too much. But if you have a larger family or you spend a lot in the grocery category and you're able to max out the $12,000 within the first year, that's going to be $600 in cash back in the grocery category. Now, after the first year, that is going to go back down to 1.5% cash back, but at least for the first year, 5% cash back in groceries. That is really, really good and among the best of all credit cards currently out there. Now, as far as the other categories go, you will be earning 3% cash back on dining. Now, this is going to include dining at sit-down restaurants as well as takeout. You're also going to be receiving 3% cash back on drugstore purchases, 5% back on travel purchase through Chase Ultimate Rewards, which is basically their travel platform, just like Expedia, Travelocity, and all the other travel platforms out there. If you use Chase's, you will be earning 5% cash back on that. And then on all other categories, you will be earning 1.5% cash back. Now, with all of these cashback rewards that you're going to be receiving, not just the bonus, but all the other cashback rewards that you receive just for spending on this credit card, these rewards are never going to expire. It doesn't matter if 1 year passes, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years passes. None of these rewards will ever expire, so you don't have to rush to redeem these points like you may have to with other credit card companies. And as far as the options for redeeming these rewards, you do have a few different options. So the first thing that you can do is choose to redeem them for a statement credit, which will basically just reduce your balance. If you don't wish to go with a statement credit, you can also choose to redeem your dollars for a direct deposit into your bank account, whether that's a checking account or a savings account. That's completely up to you. In addition to that, you can also use your dollars on Amazon. So if you're a big Amazon shopper, you can basically check out using your rewards through the Chase portal. In addition to that, you can also redeem for gift cards. This is really great around the holiday season if you need ideas for gifts and perhaps you don't have an idea for what you're going to give to your significant other or something like that. You can always redeem for gift cards and give it to them. Also, you can book through the Chase travel platform. So if you're going on a vacation, you can redeem these dollars for flights, hotels, rental cars, anything like that. Now, as far as the intro APR goes, for the first 15 months, there is going to be a 0% special. So for the first 15 months of having this credit card, there is going to be a 0% intro APR, which means that if you have a bunch of large transactions coming up that you want to spend on the credit card, but you don't have the money in your bank account right now to pay it off, you can use this credit card and you won't be hit with any interest. However, you will want to make at least the minimum payment, and I would strongly recommend, if possible, to pay your card off in full every single month, just because after those first 15 months, unfortunately, your APR will go up to anywhere between 19.49 to 28.24%, depending on different factors. So you will definitely want to get your card paid off in full, at least after those first 15 months, so you don't get hit with a bunch of interest. Now, another main feature of this credit card is that there is not an annual fee. With other credit cards out there, there are annual fees of anywhere between, let's say, like $95 and even higher. With this credit card, you don't have to worry about whether or not it's worth it to pay an annual fee compared to the benefits that you're receiving back. So you're not going to be paying a single dime for having this credit card. However, there are some other fees that you'll definitely want to keep in mind. So like late payments or a return payment, for example, there is going to be a fee of up to $40. For balance transfers, there's going to be an intro fee of either $5 or 3% of the amount of each transfer. Whichever is greater, that's going to be within the first 60 days of your account opening. Then after the first 60 days, that's going to get bumped up to either $5 or 5% of the amount of each transfer, whichever happens to be greater. Now, as far as cash advances go, I've always strongly recommend not ever taking out a cash advance just because it can be so dangerous and you can end up owing a lot of interest on it. But if you do decide to take out a cash advance, just know that there is going to be a fee of either $10 or 5% of the amount of each transaction, whichever is greater, plus an APR of 29.49% on all cash advances. Then if you happen to travel abroad, if you go outside the United States, there is going to be a foreign transaction fee of 3%. So this is a credit card that you'll definitely want to leave behind and instead opt for another credit card that does not have a foreign transaction fee. Now, if at this point you're actually strongly considering applying for this credit card, it's definitely a pretty good one to apply for, but you're not too sure about the credit score or if you have a high enough credit score to apply and be accepted. Right from the Chase website, it does say that you do need a good credit score. So they mention here anywhere between 690 all the way up to 850. Of course, even if you do have a credit score that's say like 700 or so, which would be well within that range, they also take into account other factors as well. So it's actually quite possible that you could have a credit score below 690, but have other factors in there as well that actually contribute you to being accepted for this card. So just because you have a credit score between 690 to 850 doesn't necessarily mean that you will be accepted. So just to sum things up here, I would have to say that the biggest pros of the Chase Freedom Unlimited credit card consist of the fact that you are going to be earning 5% cash back on the first $12,000 that you spend in the first year having this credit card. Again, this is a really great rate. If you look at all other credit cards across the spectrum, not really many match 5% back in the grocery category. Secondly, there is no annual fee with this credit card. So if you're having this for a long period of time, you're not having to pay an annual fee of say $95. And looking at that and wondering if paying a $95 annual fee would really be worth it with the benefits that you're receiving. And finally, that $200 spend bonus that you will be receiving as long as you spend $500 within the first 3 months of having this credit card, which, let's face it, for a lot of us, that's not going to be too difficult. A lot of us are probably going to spend around $500 every single month on groceries alone. Then when you factor in other expenses such as gasoline, everything like that, it's not going to be too difficult to achieve the $500 in spend within the first 3 months. Now, as far as the cons go, I would say the biggest con of this credit card is the fact that there is a 3% foreign transaction fee. So if you do happen to travel abroad, this is a credit card that you'll probably want to go ahead and leave behind. Now, if you don't travel abroad, this is not going to be a big issue. The other con I would say with this credit card, the biggest thing that I have against it is the fact that on all other purchases, you're only going to be receiving 1.5% cash back, which is really not all that great. It's not terrible by any means, but there are many other credit cards out there that will earn you 2% cash back, like the Citi Double Cash credit card, for example, is 2% cash back. The Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card is also 2% cash back, so you might want to choose those in other categories, but 1.5 versus 2 is not a big difference, but just saying 1.5% cash back is really not all that impressive, so I did have to list that in the con category. Now, to sum this card up overall, I would say it is a pretty good card across the board, especially in the first year when you factor in the 5% cash back on groceries. I really love that. That's a great perk. The $200 spend bonus if you spend $500 within the first 3 months. So overall, I would say this is a pretty good card to have. And then there's going to be the 0% intro APR over the first 15 months on purchases and balance transfers. So I would definitely say that this is in fact a pretty good card and I would recommend getting it. However, in the end, you definitely have to look at your own personal financial situation. Make sure to read the fine print and come to your own conclusion about this credit card. And hopefully some of the information that I've given you in today's video at least kind of helps you in coming to that decision. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Again, I definitely hope that it helped. If it did, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.